Welcome to Tailgate Game Day. My name is Wehman. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking with Coach Shannon Jolly, the head coach of the Osage Indians football team. We'll find out what happened last week and him looking ahead forward to the Eldon Mustangs, which is coming up this evening. Then we'll head on over to Camdenton. We'll talk with Austin Walker and Tyler Dinsdale, the head coaches of volleyball and softball respectively, and player profiles from each of those clubs. And then we'll come back to Osage. We'll talk to Travis Squire, the head coach of the golf team. And then we'll also talk with Lexi Dickerson. She's the head coach of the softball team. Plus Tony Hermann, plus you watching. Make sure that you smash that subscribe button and give the thumbs up and like the channel so that you'll be notified when another edition comes up. Now let's get on with Tailgate Game Day. We're here at Bike Fest down on Lake of the Ozarks at the Harley-Davidson shop, and you're from out of town, aren't you?
Yeah, St. James, Missouri, just outside of Rolla.
And you look forward to this every year?
Yeah, I've been coming since 2011.
Have you really?
Yeah, a long time. It's a lot of fun. It changes every year, but it's just really cool. It's really starting to expand, and you get about over 100,000 folks out here. It's a good time.
You know, the Show Me State, there's a reason why that's the name of this, with all the hills and the turns.
Exactly. The Ozarks, it's so beautiful here. I've been around in the central United States, and it's hard to compare to Missouri and southern Missouri. That's true.
Super. Hey, have fun and drive safe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, welcome back to Tailgate Game Day. Guy Wehman along with Tony Hermann, the Osage football games. Tony, it's good to be here at Wicked Willie's, isn't it?
Just a great setup. I enjoy being here not only to do this show, but just to come in and have a good meal, have a good time with friends.
Yeah, absolutely. The food is fantastic, and the beverages and the staff, they are so good and pleasant and responsive to any need that you might have.
Absolutely. Always a great place, and a great place to watch the games as well.
Yeah, and loaded with all the monitors around and all the sports memorabilia. All right, Osage. We've got 3 games under our belt, and they looked a little bit better, but boy, it was a tough opponent on Friday night.
You know, Guy, they started off the season 0-3, very similar to last season as well. Go up to Jeff City, tough loss at Jeff City as the Jeff City Jays drop into our district and prove that they are a very good football team. And then Moberly comes in for our first home game of the season. And a game that we competed in, a game that I thought we looked much better in, especially in the skilled spots.
Yes.
And that would be Maverick Trusty, the quarterback for the Osage Indians, and his first year of being a full-time starter.
But then Blair Oaks, they come to town. That was the 3rd game, our second home game of the season. And in the first half, it looks like, okay, they're playing fairly well, and it wasn't a blowout, but then Blair Oaks, they poured it on in the second half.
Blair Oaks, a very good football program, defending state champion. Last year finished the season 14-0. There's only one way that you finish the season undefeated, Guy, and that is to win the state title. And that's the Blair Oaks Falcons. As they win the state title again, they lose a bunch as well. You know, the odd thing that we've talked about in last week's show is every team that we've faced, and including the Osage Indians, have a first-year quarterback. Blair Oaks, no exception. They have a first-year quarterback as well. But he continued the tradition of strong play and did a great job against the Osage Indians.
You know, you're talking about the Blair Oaks tradition, and this is the first year without a hair at quarterback, but the same thing is true because they've got, I want to kind of come back to the coach, because the coach is the same. And so it's that tradition that is built into the program.
You know, you do have that. It's a very successful program. I would venture to say that the quarterback at Blair Oaks is probably determined in the 6th grade. and they work their way up through the system, and they're ready to play when it's their turn to go. In this case, it's the sophomore year for this young man. He is stepping up, doing a great job, and just as you said, the Osage Indians played pretty tough that first half, but too much in the second half of the Falcons.
Okay, now we're traveling to Eldon this week, and Eldon, well, they started 3-0 last season, and then last year they started their losing streak after that, and so it's pretty much reminiscent of last year. But now Osage, they're traveling to Eldon, so they're actually playing Eldon away at the Mustangs' home turf.
You know, the Eldon Mustangs, they're a program going in the right direction now with Coach Chad Holt and his Mustangs. They come into tonight's ball game. They are 2-1. They have big wins right now. A lot of points they're scoring as they defeated Fulton 60-13. In a loss, they played the Owensville Dutchmen to 35-31 and then 52-0 last week as well. Right now for the Osage Indians, the defense is going to have to step up because I'm not sure the offense can put those points on the board yet.
Yeah, and one thing you and I are both going to be looking at, it's the defensive line of Osage, because that seems to be the Achilles heel this year, is the running game of the opposition, because they keep running on through.
You know, when you're getting 5 to 7 yards right up the middle every time, whether it's the A gap, whether it's the B gap, that's tough. It's tough to do that, and then you start the need to bringing up your linebackers. Then next thing you know, guy, you're open for the pass, and then we've got 6 on the board.
Yeah, one nice spot was Aiden Williams last week. He did a nice job at running back.
You know, Aiden Williams, he now is the leader of this Osage Indian football team, where last season he had several people in front of him that would step up and assume this leadership role. He is the #1 running back right now and offensive threat for these Osage Indians.
And then you also have Colonius, which is his sidekick.
Doing a nice job. Jason is doing a good job for the Indians. His first season where he is receiving significant carries each game, and he is doing a great job. He's trying to get to the outside. I think that's what we saw in the second half last week for these Osage Indians. Stop trying to run it up the middle, 3 plays and a punt. Let's try to get outside and gain some big yards, and that's what we saw from Jason.
Yeah, a couple other teams in the area. Lebanon's really doing good. Versailles, they're looking better than they did last year. And then Camdenton, they righted the ship after their loss.
Well, let's take a look at the Lebanon football team right now. Kickapoo goes into Camdenton and defeats our Lakers, and then they come back the next week. They go into Lebanon, and Lebanon just gets up and down the field on them and has a big win over those Kickapoo Chiefs. Kind of shows you our Lakers are going to have a little bit of work still ahead of them.
Yeah, but although things still look kind of good for Camdenton, but as you said, there's a lot of work yet ahead.
Oh, that will be an exciting game when Lebanon and Camdenton get together. Once again, you can throw out all those previous scores. You can throw out everything. They're going to go after it.
Well, tonight it's going to be another fun night. And as you said last week, if it's 7 o'clock on Friday, what happens?
It's going to be Osage Indian football.
And it's going to be Camdenton Lakers football and football all across the state.
State of Missouri.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're here at Wicked Willie's. Come on down and enjoy the fine cuisine. And we're going to take a break. This is the Tailgate Game Day Show. Well, welcome back to the Coach's Corner here, and we get together each week. And Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a good day. Just I'm enjoying this weather.
Oh my goodness, you said that. You know what? It was actually, even though there was a loss on Friday night, that was a good game.
I'd say it's probably a good half. You know, we even in the second half, we got a lot of good things out of it. It's just a lot when you get into you get into a battle with a team like that, and you play that well in the first half. Specifically up to about 15 seconds left in the second quarter. I was really proud of our kids. I think, I don't get into moral victories, but I do know that I think the body of work that we put together in those 2 quarters and spots in the second half, we can take from that and build off of it. So I was, excited for them to put some good things on film.
The nice thing is that, well, I don't know if it's nice, but last year you were down 3, and then you came back and you won those 7 straight. But I look at it, these kids have learned something in each of these 3 losses to begin this year. And each week we've seen a progressive growth in the team, and it's a young team.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody keeps talking about last year, and I even get it. And, I understand the situation. It's just not the same. Not the same team. Is there a possibility for the same results? Sure. But, I'm not so sure that this season's a reflection of last season just because of the situation with the record. But I know that each week I feel like we've gotten better, and we put some really good things on the field at times. And I think any coach will tell you when you kind of collectively get that all put together, it's going to be, I think it's going to be something special.
All right, Trusty, he seems to be coming along in his growth, and he's able to throw it downfield a little bit further and make some accurate throws.
Yeah, I mean, Maverick's doing fine. I mean, some of the indecision or lack of experience in some decision-making he's struggled with in the first 3 weeks. But, I mean, a sophomore quarterback that's only played freshman football is bound for that. But, he's just a great competitor and a good teammate. I mean, he's steady. He doesn't get one way or the other. And I think everything that he gets, good and bad, he utilizes to get better. So, yeah, he's definitely not any of our concern.
Aiden Williams and then also Jason Colonius, those 2 young men, they've done fine.
Those 2 guys are a workhorse. I mean, they're as good at leaders as you'll find. Jason just doesn't say much and just sticks his nose in there and handles the linebacker responsibilities. But him and Aiden, being juniors, are kind of figuring their role out too because they followed Jackson and Eric Hood and some of those guys last year. So they're finding their own way too. But no, I wouldn't trade those 2 for anybody.
Aiden, when we were talking to him last year, and he kind of alluded to the fact that he missed that senior class of what he learned from them, and he says, well, yeah, we've got some room to grow this year. Yeah,
I mean, those guys, everybody's got their good and bad as people, as players, but those kids last year played the butts off. I mean, they got after it, specifically in that latter part of the season. So, being able to watch Jackson Funderburk run the ball and Eric Hood and those guys, I mean, it was special for them, and I know they paid attention and following their lead and trying to pick up from where they left off.
Okay, looking ahead now, we've got a game tonight. You're traveling up to Eldon, the Mustangs, and the Mustangs, I think they're 2-1, I believe, on the season. I'm not exactly. I think that's what it is. But you guys are going to go up there, and now it's familiar territory because you've been to Eldon before.
Yeah, I mean it's we'll probably talk about that until I retire. Being able to have a perspective from both schools is not only have an advantage as a coach, but just as a person. I mean, the 10 years in Eldon were great 10 years. Going over there this week, it'll be extremely intense. I mean, it's a big game for both schools, and it's exciting. I'm looking forward to going over there. I love that kind of atmosphere in high school football, and I know everybody in Eldon will come out for it, and we're looking forward to getting over there.
Oh, it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. And all I can see for Eldon is that they've got revenge on their mind because it was their loss last year that struck them on their downward slide.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was the loss that struck them or the win that struck us, but, it was what it is, what it was last year. And we're looking forward to it. Like I said, we'll see how it goes, but hopefully we play our best football tonight.
Okay, now, what are you looking to attack by them? Are you still going to do the balanced with the offense as far as rushing and passing?
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, with our young players, it's kind of you get the hot hand and maybe work that, and you always want to be balanced. But, I think you've seen in week 2, Maverick do a couple of nice passes for scores. It's nice to stretch the field if you can, but, if you're not having success with that or if they're taking that away, then you'll take what you get. So we'll find that out a little bit more tomorrow night.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you want to comment on the defense against Eldon because your defense, the hole or the problem area seems to be protecting the opponent's run.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, I don't want to make excuses. We've got some kids up front that don't have very much experience. And when you come into experienced offensive line, I mean, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage defensively, even more so than offensively. Offensively, you can attack the perimeter and do some things, but defensively, as Jeff City showed us, I mean, if you got bigger, stronger kids up front, it's going to make it really tough to stop the run.
Okay, any injuries?
Nope, we're all good. We had some sickness this week, some guys, but I think we're getting everybody back and just look forward to getting ready to go.
The mood amongst the club, what do you think?
No, I think they're excited. Again, I think with the inexperience we deal with, I don't know if the kids know exactly how they feel about a rivalry game right now, but I think they will when we get over there.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Nope, just excited about football Friday night.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
All right, thank you.
We'll be back. Well, we're out here at Osage National, and we've got another match here with the Osage golf team. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great today.
We're going to be catching up with you, as we said. We're going to do it each and every week all the way up through the season, and we're going to follow your progress because you guys are state champions last year.
Well, we're excited to have you, and we're glad that people are noticing and watching. So anything that we can do, you'd let us know.
Absolutely. You know, this golf course is really nestled back in here from 54, isn't it?
Yeah, you can just see a glimpse of it from the road, and then when you get down here and get to the overlooks, Osage National is a beautiful course. We're very lucky to be able to practice and play out here as much as we do.
Who's the match today?
It's Osage versus the Jeff City area. We have Helias, Jeff City, and Cap City as our opponents today.
So it really doesn't matter because you just keep the scorecard. It's not like football where you have team versus team. It's like all of your scores go on down.
We'll take 5 scores for varsity, but only 4 will count towards our team scores. And as all my girls know, they're not out here necessarily playing Helias or Jeff City. They're playing the course just like the rest of these girls.
Okay, who's our guest today?
This is our senior and team captain, Sophia Sindlinger, 3-time state medalist, and we're hoping to make that 4th.
That's fantastic. So how'd you get involved with this, Sophia?
I started playing when I was little with my family. My parents have just played since I was little.
Okay. Now, what would you say, I guess it's handicap is the right word. What would you say your handicap is?
I'd say...
I need you to move in a little bit. You keep backing up.
Okay, I'd say...
Because all of a sudden we'll be back there. You keep going like this. Okay. So what would you say your handicap is?
I'd say it's like a 7 or 8.
Okay.
She's pretty close to, she's actually playing under that this year. I worked on her stats last night, and presently she's at about a 38 average per 9 holes, and so she's playing at about a 4 or 5 right now. She's actually playing noticeably and significantly better than last year, so we like that. That shows that she's been practicing in the off season and grinding to get better.
You know, golfers, if they make par, that's great. And if not, if they shoot bogey golf, that's great. But you're better than bogey golf, aren't you?
I guess so.
It's okay to be proud of yourself because 3-time medalist, that's a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's better than a bogey golfer. If she had a bogey round, she'd be upset with herself. We'd get over it, but she would be upset with herself.
All right, were you on the team last year?
Yeah, I've been on the team since freshman year.
Okay, so now you're a senior. This is now your 4th year. What are your personal goals with the team this year?
My personal goals, I want to shoot around under par in tournament, and I want to stay in the 70s consistently.
What about any other teammates that you maybe will match up with them, but you say, I want to be better than this one? I mean, because there's got to be some individual competition there between you guys.
I guess there's probably competition between Hannah and I. We always go back and forth with beating each other.
And that's kind of neat because Hannah's a good gal, and probably you get along with everybody here, don't you?
Yeah, we're all friends.
Okay, so you see at the end, you want to do this big repeat at the end here with last year's gold championship, or I call it gold, but it's the state championship. You want to do the big repeat.
Yeah, I think we can do it again.
Okay, personally, what is your favorite subject in school?
I like Spanish because it's my favorite teacher.
Okay, all right. What do you want to be or do after high school? Do you want to be in the LPGA?
I mean, I'd like to try, but if that doesn't work out, I want to be a veterinarian.
Okay, that's a long haul there. What is that, like 8 or 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's 8 years.
Okay, now, if we looked on your music device, what music would Sophia like?
I like Morgan Wallen right now.
I do not know who that is, Guy, but I'm sure it's great music. They all like country.
Okay. Well, to our listeners and viewers, what genre would that fit into so that they know?
Country.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, some final thoughts here. We're going to catch up with you next week. Beautiful course here, and Sophia and Hannah and the rest of the gals.
Yeah, we are coming to the middle of the season. We've had a great start. We've had a couple of team record-setting rounds last week and the week before. We shot a team 151 last Thursday, which was an amazing team round for us. I think a 9-hole record. So we know we're going to have some setbacks. We know we're going to have some rounds that we're not especially proud of, but we've started off well. We're progressing well. The girls are working hard individually, and so we're just trying to get through this middle part of the season and get ready for postseason golf, which is what we're all excited for.
Matches this week?
This will be our only one out here, so we'll have a good week for practice.
Okay, and then next week we're going to catch up with you, and then who are you looking at next week then?
Next week we will have a tournament, and we will also be seeing Helias again at their home course.
All right, super. Thank you, Coach.
Oh, thank you, Guy.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
We're on the campus of School of the Osage, and in their softball field, we've got Coach Lexi Dickerson with us. How you doing, Lexi?
Doing great. Excited for game day.
And this is kind of nice. Now, we interviewed you during the football game, but now we're going to get you on camera for the game day show.
Yeah, it's exciting. Glad to have you here.
How's the team doing this year?
We're doing well. We're doing a lot better than last year. We're building a lot off of what we did build last year. Right now, we are 3-2, hoping to be 4-2 after tonight's game.
I think it's fantastic, and we're kind of following you through the season, which I think is really kind of nice. Now, who do we have with us to interview today?
We've got junior Macy Kessler. She is our starting center fielder.
Center field, you like it?
I do.
Now, with playing center field, you know that you have to have a good arm because you have to throw it all the way to home plate.
Yes. It depends on the day, but.
Okay. So do you like the fielding part, or are you the slugger, too?
Fielding, I would say, is my strength. I kind of have ups and downs batting, but we
Okay.
get through it.
Now, you're running constantly because that center field has to kind of cover both right and left.
Oh, yeah. Always backing up pretty much everywhere, so.
How did you get into softball?
I actually started when I was in, like, 3rd grade. I played on a baseball team for my best friend's dad was the coach, and her little brother played, so we played too, and it's just kind of built up from there.
Did you ever play with all your friends in the neighborhood, you know, like maybe some stickball type thing or something?
Well, I played rec league from like 3rd to 7th grade. Then I moved to travel ball, and now we're in high school. So.
I think it's great. You look for sluggers out in the outfield because that's what they're going to bring to the table. But fielding, if that's her strength, you're looking for that arm and her running ability out there.
Yes, Macy is incredibly fast, and you can see that when she runs track in the spring. We see her a lot on the track page, you know, for all of those awards. But yeah, we utilize her for her speed. That's the main reason why she's out there.
4-2. Now, last night you had Stoutland here, didn't you?
Yes, and we beat them. It was kind of a rocky start for us, but once we got going, we had some really good at-bats, and we had lots of hits.
Now, tonight, who are you playing tonight?
We're playing Lakeway.
And how's that going to go, do you think? I mean, do you have an idea?
Yeah, I think it'll be very similar to Stoutland, who we played last night. They did beat Stoutland 3-2, and so we'll have to bring a little bit better of our game to beat them, but looking forward to it.
Competitive week this week?
Yeah, we've got some teams that we can definitely compete and we should beat. Hopefully, we've got Eldon coming up Thursday, and that's always a big game for the Eldon Osage group.
Coach Maddie, she's kind of tough.
Yes, I had to play against her when I was in high school, so we've known each other for a while.
All right, now we're back to you. What is your favorite subject in school?
Oh gosh, probably science.
And why is it science?
My teacher is actually also my track coach, so I just have a good bond with her, and she's a good teacher, so it's nice.
Okay, if we were looking in your iPad or your music device, what kind of music would you like?
Country Christian is my main category, I'd say. It depends on what I'm doing, but.
What do you want to do after high school?
4-year college is the plan. Not really.
Do you have a college in mind?
Not really. We're kind of open to anything right now, but we'll see. My sister goes to OTC, so I might follow in that if nothing else works out.
I've already asked Coach Dickerson this question, but the esprit de corps, in other words, the mood amongst the club, how is it?
Yeah, like the.
In other words, do you get along with the other girls, and is there like a community? We're all in it together.
I'd say there definitely is. Like we Drama is pretty much non-existent on this team. Last year we were really building, and we didn't so much have the softball ability, but we had a lot of teamwork, and we worked well together, and we had a really good community and environment, and that we kind of carried that over into this year. So now we're working on building up the fundamental and the skill level. So
When she said drama was non-existent, I kind of wanted to go, what?
Yeah, it's fantastic. We have a great group of girls, and I think we just kind of work on building team atmosphere, team camaraderie, and all of that good stuff here. And honestly, I can't ask for a better group of girls. They're fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
you're welcome.
And Coach, we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Well, we're here once again on the campus of the high school with Tyler Dinsdale, and he's the coach of the softball team. How you doing today, Tyler?
Doing pretty good. Yourself?
All right. Last time we talked, you had 8 wins. Where do we stand now?
We're 11-4 now.
Okay, what happened? Obviously, you played a lot more games.
Yeah, we played a lot more games. We kind of got a little bit of an injury bug working right now. Ran into some really high-quality teams in this last tournament, so just kind of hitting the middle of our season, and that's kind of what's trying to get healthy and moving forward. So,
You know, there's nothing wrong, though, with a loss. If I hate to say good loss, but you can learn a lot and develop as a team when you meet some other tough teams and take a loss.
oh yeah, we knew we weren't going to win every game this year. Kind of actually took a little bit off our plate by losing that first game. Like you said, we got a lot of stuff from it. We're not able to do as many practices as we normally would like to be doing right now because we're playing the games. So we're getting that in-game experience, getting a lot from losses. What do we need to work on? We always know there's stuff we can improve on. So just actually seeing that on the field, hey, this needs to be improved. We need to be this different. That's kind of what we're working on right now.
You know, I think last week we were talking, you were going to be a little bit over 30 games this season. So 11-4, that's 15. You're nearing that halfway point.
Yeah, we'll for sure be, by Saturday, be over halfway of our season. We've got a game tomorrow, and we've got 5 on Friday and Saturday. So I think that'll put us at 21 to 34 games. So we'll have 14 after that because we've got one that we rescheduled. We got rained out yesterday. So kind of give us a good idea where we're at this weekend. We've got some really, really good competition this weekend. We'd add another tournament that we're playing against some really good top 5 Class 5 schools, so kind of interested in seeing how that goes out, especially with the injury bug that we've gotten, see which girls are going to rise up and take over some roles that were needing to be filled.
Okay, you mentioned the injury bug. Are we talking like broken ankle type stuff or sprained ankles? Or
No, just shoulder inflammation, stuff like that, stuff that's only going to be, it's nothing season or career ending type deal, but maybe about 2.5, 3 weeks. Kind of get us back, put us right back, perfect time for districts too. So things are still, our goals are still the same. So,
how did they take the loss? Because when I talked to a couple of the players that we've had on Player Profile, we'll get to that in a little bit, they were like, man, we can take it, we can do it. And when they have a loss, sometimes it's a gut punch, but other times they adjust fairly well.
Yeah, I would say it was a humbling experience. We lost to a St. Elizabeth team who right now is 11-1. That was our first loss of the year. So for them, for the girls, I don't want to really say it was an eye-opener, but we knew they were a high-quality team, and we knew that we had to play as well as we can for entire 7 innings. I think they kind of got a little different perspective. It's easy when we go out and we win, 17-0, 20-0 when we're scoring a lot of runs and stuff like that. But in those close games, we're really kind of seeing the character of the girls come out, and right now we're trying to figure out where we're going to be going forward. So
it's the reality of, hey, we are mortal.
Yes, correct. Yeah, correct. Which is a good thing to have. I mean,
Yeah.
They need to know, and we've had this last year. We went through this at the same time. Lost to a team last year that we probably shouldn't have lost to, but it just goes to show that any team out there can get beat by any team at any time.
Okay, we're at the middle of September, and the season really is going to be wrapping up around the first part of October, isn't it?
Yeah, second weekend in October is when we start our district play. So.
Okay, now, do you know how that's going to lay out yet, or do you have to wait until it really is upon you?
We'll probably find out the week before. I know who's in our district, and I know who the possibilities are, and I know kind of what their rankings are right now. So I've got an idea how it'll play out, or how it'll look whenever we start the seed.
Okay.
But we're not going to know that until probably the week before.
Well, we're going to be with you the whole time, and we've started with you at the beginning of the season. Player profile tonight, who are we going to talk to?
Anna Lucas. She's done a really good job pitching for us and hitting. She's started off a little slow at the plate, but has been on fire the last 5 or 6 games. And as far as pitching goes, she's kept us in a lot of really big games. So she's done really well, and we're super proud of how she's performed.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We're on the campus of Camdenton High School, and it's a softball field right over here, but this side, we've got Anna Lucas. How you doing, Anna?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, excellent. Welcome to Player Profile.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, what position does Anna Lucas play?
I'm a pitcher first baseman.
Okay, between the two, which one do you like better?
It depends on the day and what's going well for me. So
I hear that your pitching has helped the club at some key crucial times.
I mean, with Caden being out, I've had to step up. I've had no other choice. So, I mean, I guess, yeah.
The record is now 11-4, and you're just about halfway through this season. So there's a lot of evaluating going on here. Okay, what do we have to do in the second half of the season versus the first half? What does Anna have to do?
I have to step up and be a leader. I have to keep getting hits and throwing the ball well. I just have to keep doing what I've been doing.
We've talked to some sluggers on this team, and this team is known for really doing the hits. What's your average?
524 right now.
Wow, it's amazing. This club really can hit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of our strengths. So,
how much fun is this club having?
We have a lot of fun. The team chemistry is really, really good this year. We're all friends, even off the softball field. So we all get along really well, and we all have a lot of fun, even at practice and at games. So we really like each other.
It was a week ago. You were 8-0, and now you're 11-4. So after that first loss, you kind of have to dig down because you realize you're mortal at that point. You can lose.
Yeah. It's all about perseverance. You just got to keep going, you know?
What's your favorite subject in school? The kids told you I was going to ask you that.
I mean, I've watched the rest of the interviews, so I kind of knew it was coming. I would have to say science.
And why science?
Well, I want to be a neuroscience professor whenever I get older, and so science is always something that's really interested me.
You know, if you get to that level, you could almost be a physician, couldn't you?
I want to get my PhD and be a professor and researcher, so that's really what I want to do.
So that's where your headspace is going toward, is really the research part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we looked on your music device. What is it that gets you going?
I'm a big classic rock girly. I like Fleetwood Mac and the Rolling Stones, but I'm also really partial to like Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, so it's kind of mixed.
Yeah, Taylor Swift, and she had that big award last night. Did you see what happened when she was on the award stage with the guys?
NSYNC's getting back together. I saw that.
Yeah.
And they announced that when she was getting her award, so.
Yeah, she was like, it's like, oh, wow, look at what's happening here.
Yeah, I really like her. She got like 9 awards last night. I watched all of it. So, yeah.
What does Anna want to do after high school? Outside of going to college?
Yeah. Well, my dream school is Drury because they have a neuroscience program and then they also have a really good softball program. So I want to go there, play college softball, major in neuroscience, and then get my PhD in neuroscience. So.
Would you even like to maybe coach softball sometime?
Yes, I would like to coach softball. I'm not sure how much time I would have to do it, but I love working with kids, and I give some pitching lessons in my spare time. So, yeah, it's really fun to work with them.
What's the best opponent that you've gone up against? And it might have been the toughest one. It might have even been the one that you lost to.
Like this season or last season?
This season.
This season, it's definitely was St. Elizabeth. They're a really good team, and especially because they're a Class 1, which means they're a small school, but they've got a lot of really talented girls that I play in travel ball. But they were a tough team.
And you know Lebanon is always the perennial tough guys.
Yeah, We never really worry about them. But yeah,
Should we let Lebanon know that?
I mean, they already know.
Okay.
I mean,
I think your teammates really did you like that, girls? A little round of applause.
they are technically our school's rival, but we really view our rival to be Kickapoo. They're the other big conference contender. We go head-to-head with them pretty much every year. And they're really who we have to worry about when we're worrying about the Ozark Conference. So,
Well, thanks for sharing with us.
yeah, happy to be here.
All right, we'll be back. We're here on the campus of the high school over at Camdenton with the Lakers. We've got Coach Austin Walker here with us. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. How are you?
All right. Hey, what has happened as far as the win-losses since we talked last week?
We went to Rolla last night, so opened the Ozark Conference, and we won in 3. We went to the Hillcrest tournament this weekend, beat Joplin, beat Willard, lost to Lebanon in close sets, fell in the semifinals to Webb City, who ended up winning the tournament in 3. And then just couldn't recoup. Dropped a tough match, a close match to Branson in third place. So finished 4th there.
Lebanon, they're just down the street by about 20 miles, but that's that rivalry.
It's our rivalry, and they've got a good squad. They've got a bunch of kids, some big heavy hitters, some defenders that are pretty good, So it's always a battle when we go play them in a grudge match, and it was like 28-26, super close sets. So excited to get an opportunity to play them again, later in this season.
Okay, I was talking with Coach Dinsdale about the softball, and they're almost halfway through their season. How about you?
Yeah, we just started conference play, but when you start conference play quickly, you get through it, and it goes fast. And we have 3 match weeks coming up and everything, so you've got to be on your A game every game in the Ozark Conference, no matter what opponents across the net, got to be ready to play.
So, how many games do you think you have down now, and how many do you have to go? I mean, are you looking like a 30 game?
We're looking at about 30 matches, and we're 11 in. So, but like I said, they go fast. And opening Ozark Conference play last night in Rowlett had a really good showing last night. Our kids looked super confident, put a new lineup out there. Doc Krulotz got her varsity debut, and she did a really good job. Bella Santo went back to a 5-1 offense, her hands on the ball. She played great, and, so I was happy to see our kids perform like that.
Any injuries on the squad so far?
No injuries. No, knock on wood.
You're probably saying,
yeah, knock on wood. No injuries. Everybody's healthy right now, so.
What's the attitude of the club?
Really good. Our kids were excited to get in the win column last night. We've worked hard for that, kind of just keeping the culture up, building those foundation of, that mental mindset, shifting that to the winning mindset, and kind of just building from there.
Yeah, because when you start the conference play, then it all starts ticking off, okay, and then it goes toward the seeding when you get the playoffs.
Yep, absolutely. So we've already played Cap City and Helias here in our district, and Rolla is actually in our district too. We got a win there last night. So West Plains is in our district. We'll see them. We don't get to play Marshfield.
Now, is West Plains away or here?
We're at West Plains next Tuesday. Jeff City's in there. We go to Jeff City, so we go to both, home places, but looking to go on the road and get a win for both of those.
Yeah. Now you play Osage, and Osage, it's always interesting because you watch down there. You got the maroon on one side, you got the lavender or the purple on the other side. Now, is that you played them twice or just once?
We just played them one time. Always a hard match for us because you're expected to win. But if we lose, and it's like, so it's kind of a no-win for us in that situation. But always fun to go play somebody local and get to see some of those kids that we see every day.
And it's nice for the local people because they can actually follow both teams at the same time.
Absolutely. It'll be a great match this year.
Okay, player profile. Who are we going to talk to tonight?
We're going to talk to Caitlin Garmany this week. Caitlin Garmany is our senior libero, so she gets to wear that fancy uniform. But man,
and she is the diva.
She is our diva. We call her. She's meticulous about everything. But man, she has had a great last week, keeping us in consistent plays. Her serve receives good. She's been a great vocal leader for our kids. Just a sense of calm when we needed it the most. Last night, she led us in digs, keeping balls off the floor, putting us in systems so our middles can run. So Caitlin has done a phenomenal job for us.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to catch up with you next week, and this is fun to kind of follow you through the season.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a time out. We'll be back. We're on the campus of Camdenton High School. This is the gymnasium and the volleyball team. Caitlin Garmany is with us. How you doing, Caitlin?
I'm doing good. How about you?
All right. boy, your team's starting to really pick it up here, and you're not halfway through the season.
Yeah, we really are. We just won a game against Rolla last night. About to hit Parkview tomorrow night here, so it should be a good game.
So what do you think, maybe about 25 to 30% through the season so far?
Yeah, about there. We have like 5 more weeks-ish till districts start.
Okay, so last night, that was like a district opponent, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
What position do you play?
I'm the libero for the varsity team.
All right, now I understand, I've talked to your coach about this, and the libero gets to wear different colored outfits during the game, so, they're actually matches and all. And sometimes they're known as the diva of the squad, and I've heard that you sometimes can be the diva.
Yeah, I do try to take control of the back row, just because I'm in there majority of the time, other than when the middles are serving. So I kind of try to take the role of like making sure everything's like on it, you know?
So if everybody's wearing maroon on the top, do you just flip it and do white, or do you actually maybe change it up a little bit, maybe wear a pink or a green or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we have different colored jerseys as a libero. We have neon yellow. They're mostly school colors, neon yellow, purple, white, pink, and then we just got silver the other day, so I'm excited for that.
Ah, that's super.
Yeah.
What is the most fun about playing volleyball? Let's start this way. When did you first get started in it?
I'm kind of late to starting compared to the other girls. I started in middle school, so 7th grade, and I've played ever since then, and then some club as well in between seasons.
Okay, what grade are you in school?
I'm in 12th grade, senior.
Okay, what do you want to do after school?
I want to be a teacher and possibly a coach, depending on where the cards end up.
Are you talking elementary or middle school or high school?
As a teacher, I'm thinking like upper, like middle school, high school level, and then coaching wise.
So at least you want the kids to read.
Yeah. Coaching wise, I'm thinking like obviously you'll start out lower, but the goal would be a higher level.
What is your favorite subject in school?
Probably math.
Why math?
I don't know. It's just always come easy to me.
One person said they like it because it's one clear, defined answer.
Yeah, that's true. And if you're wrong, you know you're wrong, like immediately. You could always like double check it. And that's something I like to know if something's 100% correct or 100% wrong.
Okay, so you want to be a teacher and you like math. If we looked in your music device, what's your favorite?
Like genre?
Yeah, so do you like rock, country, pop rock, classical music, jazz?
I would go more like, I guess rap. It kind of gets me in the mood. Cause like, I don't know, like throughout the day I have my AirPods in. I don't know, it's just like, yeah, it depends on the rap song though. Like not like the bad, like good meaning.
What's the mood of the club? In other words, are the girls getting along? Is it more of a team thing, or is there some cattiness going on, or it's like we're working together?
Well, on the court we have a pretty tight group, on and off the court really, for the varsity team at least. I mean, obviously it's a girls' sport. We're gonna have some conflict here and there, but majority of the time we do have a good tight-knit group. And when we don't, we find a way, we find a solution to the problem.
The best opponent you had to go up against. Now, you might have lost to this opponent, but the best competition.
So far, I would say Helias. They minimized their errors to where they controlled their side of the court, and we did not know how to respond at the moment. We've worked on really working on our side and controlling what we can, compared to trying to get the other side of the net to mess up, if that makes sense.
Who are you looking forward to play in the last half of this season? I mean, is there a rival that you really want to go up against?
Yes, 100%. I'm looking forward to the Leb game.
To the what?
The Lebanon game. Last year we beat them here at home court, and then we just played a tournament last weekend. we unfortunately lost, but it's just time for a
So you want some revenge?
Yeah, we want to come back, and we want it really bad.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time on Player Profile.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Tailgate Game Day. This is week number 4 of the series. Next week, we'll be doing the show from Papo's Pizza, and Rick Hasty and Tony Hermann will be joining us all over there. Until next week, make sure that you get out and enjoy the games tonight, and we'll be back again next week for another edition of Tailgate Game Day.